Welcome to Packets and Bolts, podcast about technology, life, philosophy, and everything in between. It is Friday, July 12th, 2024. This is your host, Muskrat, along with co-host Mongoose and Dubstench.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just dying.
Our special guest tonight is the esteemed NFL and NFC North expert, a.k.a. the Warden.
What's going on?
That's right. Tonight we are going to take up the last part of the Packets and Bolts motto of technology, life, philosophy, and everything in between. This is the everything in between.
Yeah, sports are important, right? So, and that's that in between. You know, NFL season's what? Training camp is 2 weeks away, right, Warden?
That's right. Some teams, I think, start reporting next week.
All right. Well, let's read some headlines and then get into some football. Email the show, packetsandbolts@gmail.com, packetsandbolts@gmail.com. All right. We're probably not going to get less listener emails today because we are short on time. But if there's time, we'll do it. But
What, do we have a lot of listener emails?
well, the problem is sorting the emails more than reading the emails. I suppose we could randomly pick them, but
there's all the ones we get cyberbullied.
That's not really, yeah. We don't want to cry online on live air pod things. All right, so the Warden, we've been talking a while about getting you on here. So it finally happened.
Finally here.
All right.
Made it happen.
Now, I am drinking some wine, by the way, tonight. There's not going to be a cocktail. This is something I've never had before. This is, I don't know. Does anyone know how to pronounce this?
Farm. I don't think it's that.
Let me see it.
Chateauneuf.
I'm not even going to try that.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, I know a little bit of French.
Mongoose, yes, he took
Here we go.
French.
Chateauneuf de Pape.
All right, and then
Close
what kind
enough.
of wine is that?
Red wine. It's red.
It is red.
It's from the Rhone Valley.
Uh-huh.
So if you're listening to this podcast in France and you live in the Rhone Valley, email.
Packetsandbolts@gmail.com.
We're drinking your local wine.
All right. This is good stuff. It's good. It's got a little dry.
It's not
dry.
bad. It's not. There's not a lot of tannins in this.
No, it's good. And I don't drink much wine.
It's very
but this
smooth.
Is good.
All
Yeah,
right, he's
this is. I mean, if this is a French import, this is very. This is the type of wine I would expect. I'm going to offend some Frenchmen here.
Oh no.
But this is the type of wine I'd expect from like Napa Valley.
Oh, well, see, that's what I was just going to say because I don't like American wine much, and you get a lot more pesticides. And the price has gone through the roof for California Reds, and French is such a better cost and quality. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Is like you get more of those tannins in your wine in France. You know, they're more developed flavors like bouquets, right? But
yeah.
you know, the American wines, those grapes don't have the same flavor, and so this is a very smooth wine.
This is good wine for someone that doesn't drink a lot of wine.
Yeah.
There we go. There you go. Well, I don't know, but I'm not offending the French by saying their wine is superior. So Muskrat will be welcomed in France, and I'm not sure about Mongoose, but we'll see.
He'll be tarred feathered.
Well, right now they're protesting and they're burning everything in sight.
Well,
So
what are they protesting? They won a big election. They're
yeah,
having fun.
and then they won, and then they started burning.
That was not the people that.
Well, let me guess. It was the CIA.
It was not the CIA in France, but
The
All
French
right.
CIA.
all
we could
right,
probably do another topic of a podcast on just wine.
yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
As long as we drink wine throughout the entire
Well,
podcast.
duh.
So-
Like that goes without saying.
So we have a whole bunch. Oh, and in 2 weeks, 2020, in July 26th, it will be SysAdmin Day of 2024. So we will be planning a celebration. I'm not sure yet what. But let's get in through the headlines. We're going to try not to do too many of, especially the hacked things, because everything's getting hacked. Everyone's hacked.
Yep.
It's never stopping.
Everyone's released.
But
everyone's
this one,
information's out there.
this one's funny, and I thought we covered it last episode, but I guess I didn't. Disgruntled ex-employee cost company over $600,000 after he deletes all 180 of its test servers. Found server deletion scripts on Google. So this guy was like let go, and I think this is India, and this is on tomshardware.com. And he was 39 years old, Indian national who worked at NCS, National Computer Systems in Singapore. So he was given, he's got jail time, two years and stuff, in 8 months, because he was found guilty. Basically, they let him go, and then he found out that his access to the test environment wasn't terminated, I guess. So then he started playing around, and then he just decided to delete stuff.
So we delete a test environment?
Yeah, so not as bad as it could have been. I would doubt that it was 600,000, but maybe it was a very in-depth test environment. But what does this mean? If you don't want your test environment screwed, maybe it should be secured at the same level or close to it as prod.
Like, I don't know. I'm no developer, but it's your fucking test environment. So,
Yeah, shouldn't they be able to
Yeah,
spin it
just
back
be
up
like-
just fucking clone your dev environment
and get rid of all the clones? I don't know.
Well, dev should be kind of like your most like kind of free for all. That you're
Well, a lot
non-project
of-
testing and maybe your prod environment as close as
A
possible.
lot of places consider their dev environment production just because it's so important in the development phase. But a test environment, for fuck's sake, come on.
All right.
Yeah.
There's.
I have spoken.
I don't know why this one's in here.
You put it there.
No, there was a YouTube video. I didn't do that. Anyways, so there was a recent interview, but we're not going to go over this. I just want to let everyone know. Does everyone remember the Gary McKinnon?
What, are you talking about the Exclusivo?
I don't know. There was a YouTube video in there. I just closed it.
The Exclusivo Indigenous, that one?
Yeah, I closed it.
Yeah, well, see, you've been on that Roswell kick ever since you got
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you see
Back from Cali.
Spanish language alien videos, and you just start randomly posting them. So
Is that what
that's
happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to go
You
look
were
at why.
probably drunk.
I think I was trying to put an article in there, but so Gary McKinnon is the hacker that hacked NASA, and
We didn't really hack, but
well, I mean, he kind of did. The place, I mean, it was wide open. It
Yeah,
was
just walked right
easy.
in.
Yeah, they had like network shares online. This is like in the early 2000s,
that was in the 90s. Was it 90s or
late 90s or early 2000s.
Early
yeah.
2000s,
Yeah.
actually.
So I just have this for just if anyone's curious about this, just go look it up. He's had some recent interviews. He talks kind of about it. And what's really funny if you're into cybersecurity is just the horrible state that things were back then. I still don't know how it was that poorly defended, but it was interesting. He talks about some of the things he found in,
Yeah, but
in
there was a lot
spreadsheets.
less stuff available to hack, right?
Well,
Well,
The
they didn't really
motivation to
anything.
hack
Like
was
they had like what generic
Right.
what admin password
Yeah.
walk
Yeah.
in like publicly
Yeah.
available.
Admin 123.
or no password.
just-
Yeah, stuff like that. It was
Yeah.
just insane.
Yeah, someone's grandma could have gone and looked at that stuff.
There was a whole bunch of SSH regression. There's a critical VMware bug.
You talking about the stories?
I'm just going through like some of the big hacks. I'm obviously not going to go through. There's so many things hacked right now.
Well, the big ones that I'm thinking of are the Ticketmaster hack.
That was a big, yep.
So Ticketmaster, for anybody who's wondering, if you've ever bought tickets from Ticketmaster, you probably had your shit stolen, and it wasn't just your email address. Like, they might have your card number. To the point that they are allowing people to sign up and enroll in free TransUnion identity monitoring for a year.
1 year.
1 year, yeah.
Change your credit cards, people.
The health system ones were huge too. The health system hacks, like
Yeah.
the hospitals were down for.
Well, yes, we did cover, at least depending which one you're talking about. I know Ascension, was it?
Yeah.
That was down for like 4 weeks.
It's
Yeah.
old news, Warden.
But it's just piling on, and it's the age of incompetence, I think.
Well,
is
the other big
what we're
one
going
was
through.
you just came across this today, didn't you? Wasn't it?
There was the ARM hack, the AT&T hack, where
The
all the
AT&T
call.
hack,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was like 6 months of like they just
Yeah.
kept taking data out. Yeah. It's just
So
nonstop.
if you're an AT&T customer, or even if is it broader than that? If you traverse the AT&T network,
no,
which
I think it's
basically-
customer. It's customer. It was a customer database.
I'd have to pull. I thought I put the story in here. I don't see
Well,
it, but
we know the NSA is sniffing traffic, right? So
well,
there's-
yeah.
So
yeah.
we know. I mean, obviously, there's the pops on the east and the west coast, right, where the transoceanic cables come in.
Yes.
So do you remember? Did you ever see when the back years ago when they broke the story about the NSA and being able to spy on Americans?
And when Obama
Well, yeah,
was
they're doing
When
all
how
the
they
time.
did that? So the story goes, they had the AT&T center where the Trans-Pacific oceanic cable came in through, and there was a locked room with fiber and a
Yeah.
handoff, and basically every bit of communication, American communication, anybody that was sending communications between over the Pacific through that data center, the NSA somehow sent somebody in there, and they were able to splice the connection to sniff the traffic without anybody observing it.
They spliced
And they
fiber.
they spliced it without an outage.
And the worker that saw us was like, that equipment wasn't there last time I was in here.
They didn't know what happened until I think months or years later when the story broke. But the level of skill it took to splice that connection without anybody noticing.
Hire that guy.
Well, they've got,
It's the NSA.
I think we've talked about how you can dissolve the coating of fiber and then put a tap type device. But obviously, you can start degrading the signal on the far end. They can start detecting that they've got problems depending on how bad you do. So obviously, you have to be careful. I'm sure they've got hardware that can facilitate that.
Well, and especially with like air gap technologies, it makes you wonder if like somehow they air gapped it and they were able to basically clone and like basically I don't know.
And always encrypt your traffic. Now this is back then. More stuff was unencrypted, so they would have been capturing everything plain text. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the regression bug freaked everyone out. I was trying to find. The details on that AT&T thing, actually, I thought I put in here, but I don't know where it is. The remote code execution, which is also on the SSH bug, but the VMware bug, that's from June 18th. So that's a little bit older. And Lockbit, the Indonesia National Data Center encrypted with Lockbit ransomware. Now, last I heard, they were going to pay some money. The people had leaked some of the data, but I don't have an update that I can see what's going on.
You know what I'd like to know is what percentage of companies that pay the ransom when they get ransomware infections actually get their data back.
Well, I've heard it's usually all right unless you try to mess with them. But I don't know. I guess your mileage may be.
But what about the percentage of those who pay the ransom, get their data back, and then they get hit again?
Yeah, well, that can happen. But sometimes the people you're paying will help you patch your system.
The reason you got hacked in the first place.
Yeah, but I think the FBI recommends that nobody pays the ransom.
Right.
Of course, they always say that. But when you got your no data, what are you going to do?
It's easy to say that when you're not the ones.
Just like the movie Ransom with Mel Gibson.
Then again, the FBI. I was just watching a short video, and I remember Ruby Ridge.
Oh yeah, Ruby Ridge.
Yeah, where Weaver, he just wanted to be by himself, had a bunch of guns, had his family out there, and the feds were basically like, "Oh, this guy's living on his own. He's got a lot of guns."
I mean, I don't know if it was that simple, but yeah, sure.
Well, okay, so like literally, FBI agents crawled up there in ghillie suits. Mm-hmm. His son started the conflict because his son's out there with the dog.
Yeah.
The son sees this guy in a ghillie suit on his land with a gun, so he shoots the guy. Another FBI kills the kid. Weaver's like, "Holy shit, my family's under attack." Yeah. All of a sudden, they get a hostage situation. They ended up killing his wife as she stepped outside the house with a baby in her arms.
What?
They fucking shot her.
Yeah.
No,
it was all a mess.
So this is what happens when you want to go off the grid in America.
Well, again, it wasn't just that made the FBI go there, but yeah, it's just like the Branch Davidians. They escalated that beyond the point of reason. But the Branch Davidians were also doing weird stuff. But was it something that you need to lay siege to the place and? It's with
military style vehicles.
Yeah. But you see that we've been living in a police state that's getting worse and worse. They're, it's just like anytime you protest now, they just beat the crap out of you. Yeah. Now, they've always had a history of doing that, but at least the media used to cover it more.
Look at the university
now they cover
protests.
it over. Yeah. Now they just kind of, there's Hamas supporters. Like that means you can, even if they were, which they're not, doesn't mean you can beat them up.
Tear gas them.
Yeah. Yeah. And tear gas is not supposed to be used, like that's usually considered bad, but we use it on our population.
Not something you
all the
should use
time.
against your own citizens.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the protests where they police bust out tear gas and they had guys with leaf blowers that were blowing the gas back at them?
Yes, I have seen that.
Awesome.
Instead of tear gas, they should use fart spray.
Well, then they got those kind of like base cannon things too. The low frequency thing that'll make your guts rumble and you shit yourself.
The brown note.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I haven't seen them using that though, have they? Recently,
I haven't seen anybody use it, but I've heard it's out there. Yeah,
they have not contacted me yet to play bass for the FBI, NSA, or CIA.
That's why you're doing all that drop tuning. Dude.
You'll need a 6-string. You'll need a 6-string for that. You have to go past your
5-string ain't gonna cut it. But
like we got a riot situation here. Come in and play some crunchy grooves.
Bring your 6-string.
I don't know. Mark ran a name.
All right, so then let's see here. Microplastic discovered in human penises for the first time. CNN.com.
Oh, there's so many jokes there. There's so many jokes.
Wasn't there a song called Plastic Penis or something?
Micro penises discovering
detachable
plastics.
penis. There's a song called like
King Missile. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So microplastics are finding them everywhere. Same with micropenises, I guess.
Micropenises.
That's the next episode of the podcast. All right, let's not
Is
get
that
ahead
the
of
story?
ourselves.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
It's a big story.
All right. Let's see. So this is not, I don't believe this story, but dailymail.co.uk. Horrified man wakes up in hospital to find his genitals removed by doctor after he was tricked, in quotes, into a sex change operation amid bizarre land feud in India.
What?
And
Whoa.
I don't buy this guy's story.
This sounds like something out of like Mad Magazine or The Onion.
So the guy was 20. Okay, he's from the Sanjak village in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh, known only as Mujahid.
Okay, wouldn't want your full name out
He
there.
accused another man, Om Prakash, of misleading him into believing he had an urgent medical issue that needed to be solved. And this is a true story. This happened, Muskrat.
I'm saying what he said happened didn't happen.
So following the surgery, he woke up, found that surgeons had removed his genitals.
Yeah, that doesn't just
he
happen.
said, when I regained consciousness, I was told that I'd been changed from a boy to a girl. Now here's the kicker. So the guy who tricked him, after he woke up, he says, I changed you from a man to a woman, and now you have to live with me.
Yeah, this doesn't
I
make
have
sense.
prepared a lawyer and prepared a court marriage for you. Now I will shoot your father, and the land of your share will be named after me, and then I will sell it and go to Lucknow. Mujahid recall. Mujahid.
This is going to be a Netflix special in like 2
it should.
years.
It
you
The
know
part that
right?
doesn't add up is they don't just decide to give you a sex change without many
Right,
things
permission,
happening
right.
first.
Yeah. Where's all the paperwork and procedure?
Right.
Like there's all this-
hormones and
Bullshit. Even here in America, people go in for surgeries and they get the charts wrong, and all of a
Yeah,
sudden
but
you
not
go
your
in there.
penis.
Yeah, it's or like even like a trick. Like
yeah, you get your wrong foot cut off.
The
You
next
get the-
Practical
you get the
Jokers.
wrong penis cut off.
yeah.
Yeah, I had two, and now I got one.
It sounds like a combination of
Other
some
people.
weird modern story meets like a weird those like old German like kid stories that like meant to scare kids. Like if you suck your thumb, this demon will come and cut your thumb off. That kind of weird stuff.
That's what's going on.
Oh,
here.
like Grimm's fairy tales.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you know about this story, email the show back as in bolts, gmail.com. Tell us what the real story
Or
is.
if it's ever happened to you,
Yes.
right. Call our helpline at.
Oh my
you
gosh.
should set up a helpline.
Has this ever happened to you?
Who's gonna man it? I'm not gonna man the helpline.
Academic.oup.com. A potential association between COVID-19 vaccination and development of Alzheimer's disease. Oh.
Oh,
I don't remember hearing anything about that.
of course you don't.
So, yeah, I don't know if this has been like studied in depth, but just another thing to be skeptical of the medical industry.
Okay, hold on. So speaking of COVID-19, this came out in the news. I don't think this is on our docket, but we got to talk about how Moderna has secured $176 million in federal funding to develop an mRNA
Oh, boy.
vaccine against the bird flu pandemic.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the next big thing.
And did you hear that Putin said that's the false flag that's going to disrupt the American election?
Probably.
You heard it here first, folks. Well, maybe
Through
not.
Putin.
Through Putin.
Through Putin, through us.
Yeah, Putin heard it
Yeah,
from us.
you can accuse us of Russian collusion.
No.
That will happen.
That's already
From Putin's lips to Biden's ass.
I think Biden referred to him as Vice President Putin, but you know.
Well,
whatever.
it depends on who you talk to. So if you talk to the Democrats, Trump is still colluding with Putin, and
Yeah, they're
but
always.
Putin just came out and said that he would rather that Biden won.
Yeah, Putin apologist. Putin's a Putin
Which
apologist now.
Putin is playing 3D chess.
Well, yeah, everybody wants Biden to win. Other countries do because that's a weak. That makes this a really weak
So
spot.
what I'm thinking is Putin's thinking like, okay, I'm smarter than all these fucking stupid Americans.
He's more than most of Europe too, I think.
Yeah. He's thinking like, if I say I want Biden to win, then it's like double, triple, like
They can't
like-
figure out what they got.
Yeah.
Is he a
Double
Putin
agent.
apologist?
Double agent.
Triple agent.
I mean, mind blown.
Awesome.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I was just watching a whole show of analyzing our military problems versus like Russia, and it's not to say Russia. So we still have a lot of capability to do damage, but like if, for instance, we have these guided precision artillery shells that use GPS, and in the beginning of the war, Ukraine was using them, and they were just like decimating tank columns. Well, then all of a sudden it stopped working. Why? Because Russia isn't a bunch of morons, and they block the GPS signals, and then the things are like going haywire,
Right.
and so now they don't even use them. And our military we spend so much on technology that is not as effective, or cost to benefit ratio is not as good as what the Russians are doing. So I can't say that the Russian technology is necessarily completely better, but for the amount we spend, we're not getting that much more than what Russia pays, because they pay way less on their military
Russia
spending.
has this volume like tanks and stuff. They just have so many.
Yeah, but we blow so much money on the military industrial complex because they're all friends with each other. They're all going to golf.
Well, we're all
there's
giving
so
our stuff
much
away to
money
other
to be
countries.
made.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that too. Yeah, yeah.
look
But
at
that money comes back to our defense industry.
Well, and it's interesting too, because I mean, this is more money for the military-industrial complex to have, but the nature of the warfare landscape is changing. Just like, I mean, the most revolutionary war, not the Revolutionary War, but the one in terms of technological advancements in American history is the Civil War. The number of technological advancements that changed it from the old walk up in line with smoothbore muskets to all of a sudden you got rifles and you're changing your tactics.
Gatling guns too.
But this Ukraine Russian war, or whatever they're going to end up calling it in the history
drones.
books, the drones
Yeah.
are huge. So you got drop drones, you got FPV drones, you got your traditional drones, but they all have a purpose, and it's all starting to kind of gel into a military strategy. And as counter drone tactics, they're also advancing. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting. If anybody's concerned about what happens when all of a sudden World War III breaks out and there isn't nuclear annihilation, which honestly, we have 44 interceptor missiles, I heard the other day, and there's 1,700 or close to 2,000 intercontinental ballistic missiles that Russia has, notwithstanding what Korea and the other allies in that, that BRICS coalition
Yeah.
or whatever they're forming. I mean, we can't intercept them all. For every state, there's about 20 nukes that could hit. They're going to concentrate on military installations
Yeah.
first and foremost. But I mean, most of us are going to die. But if we can avoid nuclear annihilation, then
Things
if
are
we
looking
somehow
pretty good.
We
if
should
we
be talking
somehow
peace.
end up on the battlefield, we're going to have to know how to combat drones. And you can't just, I mean, some birdshot, well, that's not going to cut it. I mean, buckshot, depending on the size of the buckshot and the shotgun, you can maybe take out a drone, but they're so fast that there's actually tactics being developed, counter-drone tactics, if you're being hunted by drones, and it's very interesting. So if anybody's worried about that, check that out.
Well, the military's got some what they call them swarm drones, and they're like, they fit in the palm of your hand. They'll throw like a crap load out, but then to counter those, they're like shooting like nets. Up
Yeah,
in the air,
yeah,
to, like,
yeah,
bring 'em
yeah.
down.
Nuts. Yeah.
They get all tangled up in the nets and bring
So
them
if
down.
anyone's worried about that, you should be.
So buy a bunch of nets.
The most confusing part on the Ukraine war is where they can't discern which drones are coming to drop a grenade and which ones are trying to drop an Amazon packet.
That's true.
So they're just like, wait, is it my shipment for shoes or is it the grenade?
So while I was pretending to work today and I was actually sloughing off watching YouTube videos, I was watching a 1 hour and 19-minute video where they had mercenaries from the UK and US who had gone over to fight in Ukraine, talking about their experiences with the new modern types of warfare, and they were talking about dealing with drones and the tactics to try to avoid being attacked by drones. Sometimes the drones are used to direct artillery barrages, but also there's specific types of cover that you have to use, and there's time frames that you have to be cognizant of in order to move in case they're marking for the artillery. And one guy said that we had sought temporary cover and we had to go find hard cover, but we knew, and he's like, I'm squad leader, I knew that my time was up. We
No
had to get
paperback,
away.
hardcover.
Yeah, he's like, we had to get away, and the clock in my head went off. We have to move. So they started moving, and like 10 seconds later, they had evacuated their position. The whole area got decimated by artillery.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one you must be definitely, you don't want to coalesce anywhere. All right, USAtoday.com. Attorney suspended for pooping in a Pringles can, leaving it in victim advocate's parking lot.
What?
The Ohio Supreme Court suspended an attorney who defecated into a Pringles potato chip can and then tossed it into a parking lot of a crime victim advocacy center. I think that's against his code of ethics, I think.
He might get disbarred for that.
Sour grapes. I go right through you.
Oh, man. I don't know. The world's getting crazier. I don't know what to tell you. So CDK, we didn't cover this in our, again, I don't want to get into these because it's too, we have to do a whole show again on everyone getting owned. But CDK Global hacked again while recovering from first cyber attack. That's from Bleeping Computer. .com. So that was from June 20th of 2024.
Well, and it kind of lends to the. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the size of the organization, but when you're recovering from a cyber attack, you're trying to recover your data. You're trying to get business processes back on track, and so you can be profitable as a business. But you still have to, defer some of your manpower and your IT manpower to shoring up those vulnerabilities so it doesn't happen again. And where do you draw that line?
Yeah. Where do we draw that line? How about this one?
Because we're all overworked.
How about here's where I draw a line. Yahoo.com. Why Finns are deadly serious about hobby horsing. So you should show the Warden this video on if you're on the link.
The sport where it's
they
the toy, the
they
horse
ride a toy horse
around on a little track.
Nice.
I can't even explain what's going on here.
This sport, and I had recently also found out that professional pillow fighting is a thing.
Yes,
These are like the two sports that have just fascinated me.
It's weird.
Hobby horse.
So the Warden's gonna have to
boy.
become an expert on this as well.
It's big in Finland apparently.
Yes.
I mean, some hot chicks there.
That one guy, did you see how
She
bad
looks
that guy?
very serious.
She does. But look at the guy that crashes into the gate, and he must just be there for the women because he doesn't know what he's doing. Look.
I mean, this is a big sport growing in popularity.
Apparently, there it goes. And he just crashes right in. Apparently, they get made fun of a lot. So
2,000 people
Weird.
from 21 countries. So that's like what?
they get made fun of a lot, just so you
100
know.
people per country.
And I feel for them.
She could ride my hobby horse.
Yeah, this is a family podcast, or it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, not really.
All right, Blast Radius. Oh yeah, I don't. Radius is a host. Don't use Radius. All right, so now there's a couple others. I think we want to go through the barstoolsports.com. A drunk Pirates fan was arrested for allegedly breaking into a marina, stealing an 82-foot yacht, and taking it down the Allegheny River in hopes
Allegheny,
of
come on, man.
in hopes of meeting the Pittsburgh Pirates. So this drunk fan wanted to meet the Pirates by sailing this yacht that he stole.
That's-
where better than on the river.
Meeting pirates by pirating.
I guess. I mean, sure. Yeah.
So put yourself in that guy's shoes. Yeah, he could have been like, "Oh my gosh, I have to meet the Pirates." Bullshit. The guy was a Pirates fan who got drunk, and he's like, "I'm gonna steal a boat, and I'm gonna sail down the river, and I'm gonna meet some pirates."
Dude, this is gonna be so awesome.
But the media, it's the media. They
Then I'm
spin
gonna pick up some
They
toppers on the
spin
way.
it. They spin it to make it seem crazy that she'd do that.
It's not crazy to go steal a boat, try to
No.
meet pirates.
Now, here's one for the Warden. MSN.com. NFL ordered to pay billions in Sunday ticket antitrust trial because they were propping the price up, man. It's collusion.
Yeah, no competition.
Yeah, that's the problem with the
so
NFL.
if you were a Direct TV NFL Sunday Ticket subscriber, so after Sunday Ticket got sold to Google, it doesn't qualify.
It got sold to Google.
Yeah. So right now, if you want to sign up for Sunday Ticket, you have to buy a YouTube TV subscription.
DirecTV does have it still. But yes.
do they?
Yeah, because I was looking at that. But okay, I get what you're saying. Now it's open to more people, not just DirecTV.
Right. So I know at least one guy who had it many years. You're entitled up to like $2,000 to $5,000.
Whoa.
For like settlement.
Yeah, this is not a small
Sign up.
class action. But I think it's dependent on how long you had services. So I'm not clear on that. But
Well, sign up
No
for that
way.
class action. Was it the hobby horse?
now,
$2,000 to
I
$5,000.
had Sunday Ticket last year through YouTube TV, and it's still fucking expensive as hell. Now, with my favorite team playing so many primetime games this year because they're going to be awesome.
I'm surprised Bezos didn't get that for his stupid Thursday Night Football garbage. Bezos.
You don't like the advanced analytics that AWS
OMG.
provides?
Bezos.
So you can get the AWS feed where they show the probable blitzers on any play,
whatever.
and like half
I
the
tried
time it's
watching that.
wrong.
It was broke anyways.
I watched it. I'm
kinda
like, oh,
works.
this is cool. And then like half the plays, like the guys they highlight the blitz don't blitz. They just drop back. So it's like, okay, nice analytics.
It's learning. Give it a chance.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
AI.
learning computer.
AI is not accurate, even with the new Chat GPT updates.
No
it's-
shit.
My CPU is a neural net processor, learning computer.
All right.
I literally went on to Chat GPT the other day. I'm like, I want to air fry some chicken legs.
No.
I have marinated chicken legs. I want to air fry them. And what it spouted out for a recipe was wrong.
Why would you ask it? You're a chef, former chef. You're a recovering chef.
Well, I mean, I just want, I could have put my little like probes in it. I could have probed my chicken.
I feel like you're really leaning on AI a little too much.
Yeah, it's almost like
It's
you're.
getting concerning.
You need an AI intervention.
Yeah.
You're an
You're
AI
gonna probe
addict.
chickens. You do it on your own.
AI Anonymous.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, this might go with some other probes in the chicken. The NYDailyNews.com. Alleged bestiality bus with dozens of animals stopped in Pennsylvania. It looks horrifying. So, a bus suspected of being used for a bestiality operation, which I didn't know was a thing,
Included, like,
was,
birds
was
and-
pulled over
yeah.
in southern Pennsylvania, causing authorities to notify the Adam County SPCA of a strange situation.
So mobile bestiality.
Oh, it's so,
So it's like a I don't know, like a food truck
oh,
or like the bookmobile.
Like a food truck, but way different.
We've got chickens,
You said the book
but we're not free.
It's like you can rent the chicken.
Like the ice cream truck does it roll through your neighborhood and play like some
Oh.
like bell music? And
What have these animals seen? You don't want to know.
Man caught trying to smuggle 100 snakes in pants.
Yeah, this one
Wow.
this one broke by Channel 7 WSAW TV out of
Somewhere.
is this out of Wausau? I don't know where the fuck this is from.
That's where the channel is out. I don't know if it happened.
Oh, I
there.
think no. This is actually
happened
broke by
in China.
CNN. Okay, a man in China got caught trying to smuggle more than 100 live snakes in his pants. According to China's customs authority, the man was recently stopped at a checkpoint between Hong Kong and mainland China. 6 canvas drawstring bags sealed with tape in the pockets of his trousers.
How does it become 100? Like, how do you? How is 100 the line?
There's
Like,
fucking coral snakes in there. It's Jesus.
Danger.
They're
They didn't bite through the plastic. They'd be pretty pissed, wouldn't they?
good thing.
how do you bite through plastic like
The
that?
snake? I mean, if they're crunched in there, aren't they gonna get like?
They're gonna get mad.
Well, I guess if they're crunched in there, but I
I
guess
mean, you get 100.
maybe he had like those MC Hammer pants, and they were just kind of
Parachute pants?
Because if the plastic's not crumpled, then they can't.
Maybe
bite.
you
Maybe.
borrow some pants from Eddie Van Halen, and everything
Yeah.
was okay.
All right.
The customs agency did not say if the man was arrested. They just let him go.
It probably.
All right, you just have 100 snakes in your pants. You're free to go.
Yeah.
What's wrong about that?
Or they executed him because it's China.
Right.
Or he's like, I got 100 steaks
They don't
in my
really.
pants.
They don't really execute that many people compared to us, but I don't know if they execute
Are
anyone.
you
but
sure?
Yeah.
Wait,
They might unalive you, but like
Unalive.
state executions.
they may unalive you, but they don't kill you.
Well, no executions. I don't know how they are on the death penalty. I don't.
They're just not state sponsored.
Yeah. I'd have
What
to-
happened to good old like Singapore where they whip you with a
Someone
stick?
looking. Yeah. The
Yeah,
caning.
caning.
Yeah. China capital punishment. I don't know. We're the biggest prisoners in the planet.
So
Well,
according
we
to
incarcerate more
according
Yeah.
to ChatGPT, China has the death penalty.
okay.
It's one of the countries with the highest number of executions each year.
Compared to
muskrat.
America,
Well, yeah, they don't. I'm sure the court system is.
The death
not quite
penalty in
as-
China can be applied for a wide range of offenses, including violent
this
crimes,
AI?
yes,
Don't-
such as murder and drug trafficking, as well as some nonviolent crimes like corruption and economic offenses. The exact number of executions is not publicly disclosed, making it difficult to
okay.
obtain
So
precise
we're just
figures.
guessing.
What's the punishment for snake smuggling in China then?
Should I
Ask it
ask
that.
it?
Yeah, is it like on the
Was
books?
snake punishing?
Has it been so much of an issue they had to make legislation to address it?
Is it like 1 to 99 snakes? Is a certain punishment over 100?
Yeah, like 5 or 6 is cool. That's a personal amount. But any more is like, intent to sell or intent to deliver.
Intent to
right?
deliver snakes.
Smuggling.
Yeah.
All right, so I asked it, what is the punishment? Oh, shit. Oh, it froze. I fucked it all up. I said, what is the punishment in China for smuggling illegal snakes in your pants? In China, smuggling wildlife, including snakes, is considered a serious crime and is punishable
Ooh,
under the
serious
country's
crime.
laws on wildlife protection and smuggling. Significant monetary fines, and then they cut me off because I fucked up.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Fail.
So,
But this is biased, you know.
as
So like all the
So
AI is programmed by liberals. Everybody
we'd have
knows
to-
this.
we'd have to look this up, but as of 2020,
It's pro snake.
It's pro snake.
as of 2020, and this was written in, I think this might be from
2021.
2020, but 2,469 prisoners in the U.S. were under sentence of death. Of those, 97.9% were male, and nearly 40% of them were black. In the death penalty was obviously reinstated in 1976. More than 30% of the total number of executions in the U.S. occurred in the state of Texas. But this site does not tell me the total number, like the annual killing rate that we have. But of course, we imprison
Annual
more.
killing
We, the annual,
Also known as the
AKR.
the culling. We have the biggest prison population, obviously, than any country in the world for population. So whenever people talk about the China problem of prisoners, just look at our institutionalized slavery, which is prisoners are forced to work because it's the only thing accepted in the Constitution for slaves. It says right in there that you cannot be a slave except for punishment of
So it says that in the
in
Constitution.
the amendment that abolished slavery. It said for everything unless you're a criminal.
What's that? That's the 13th
So that's-
Amendment, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So that's how they allow the slave owners to continue owning slaves. And how many industries are using this? It was like crazy. I used to work with a bunch of prisoners. Anyways, that's not a topic for today. Last story, I think, unless Mongoose has something up his
He
sleeve.
looks like he does.
I think he's just checking the 13th Amendment or
Yes.
whatever.
Well, I'm trying to find the exact verbiage because I think that's absurd.
It's like the last sentence or something. Yeah, just you'll find it.
I'll go to
just tapped
I'll go to
around, yeah.
Congress.gov. That's always the truth.
Oh.
Congress is
Don't you have your pocket Constitution? I left mine at home.
okay.
He borrowed it.
So
from
here's the
somebody.
13th Amendment. Is it? This is two websites I look, and this is all it is.
It's not long.
Okay, 13th Amendment says neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof
There
the
you go.
party shall have been duly convicted,
Yep. There you
shall
go.
exist within the United States.
Yep.
Okay, so it's a punishment for a crime.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And prisoners are slaves. Yeah. So that's why we have such a high prison population. We need to maintain the slavery.
Yeah, but that's incarceration. That's punishment for a crime. That's
Correct.
not slavery.
Yeah.
That is slavery, though. But it is.
They're just closing the loophole on people saying like, "You're making me a slave when you throw me in prison." What
Well-
they shouldn't do is force people to work beyond just being incarcerated.
They don't force people to work.
They,
though.
but they can.
I mean,
I thought,
How do you know?
I thought people just like they do it voluntarily because they want something to do.
I mean,
Right.
kind of. But here's the
And
thing.
make a few bucks.
Here's the thing. It used to be that they would have to do something like, just clean up stuff or do other types of things. They have whole industries using prison labor, like this, especially in the private prison thing. Which who thinks it's a good idea to have a private prison system where you can profit off slaves that are incarcerated? Because your whole motivation is to imprison more people. And then we have the gall to point at other countries. This is what I'm saying. Anyways, not the topic for tonight.
Right.
All right.
That's a whole nother conversation.
CNN.
Close that can of worms out. For,
CNN.com. Aliens, artists, or pranksters. Another mysterious monolith appears.
another one?
Well,
Yeah.
this was from when?
This was a few weeks ago. I thought I saw an article about another one of those stainless steel ones popping up somewhere.
This is June 19th. So
Okay.
Is it
That sounds
stainless
alright.
steel?
Well, I don't know.
They're
It looks
very
that way.
shiny.
Yeah.
it looks shiny. Yeah.
That was a couple of years ago that was like.
There's one in
Arizona.
Utah or something. Or
It looks like a
Utah,
shiny
yeah.
World
Utah,
Trade
Arizona.
Center.
Yeah.
But I never heard what happened to it. Like people were going out there and saying there was no they couldn't find any rivets
Is
in
that
these things.
recent?
Yeah, this is the new one, right?
It was
here.
near Gas Peak, north of Las Vegas.
I never heard of like what they ended up figuring out what it was. The first
Neither
one.
did I.
They have no idea.
Aliens. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
But it's alien.
Well, it's either aliens or it's the fucking government trying to make us think it's aliens.
could be.
And
I know
will we
people
ever
say,
know?
Like, oh, it's a maybe conceptual artist like popping them up. Like you're driving way out in the middle of nowhere. Like
Right.
that thing that doesn't look like it's cheap for all the metal. Well put together, no visible rivets or weld points.
Well, and then anonymous, like.
it's just out there in the middle of nowhere. And like,
Right.
then how did somebody find it in the first place? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
very suspicious.
All right, and then
And right angles don't form in nature by themselves. I mean, this
Yeah,
thing had
this
to be
was
put
not
there
a-
by something.
yeah, it's like peaches come in a can, man.
They were put there by a man in a factory downtown.
Look out!
All right, well, just so everyone's aware that tomsguide.com, scientists have developed a 200 gigabyte optical disc that could replace Blu-ray. And,
Oh, yeah, I think I heard about that. Bring
and-
back optical media.
And more space debris is starting to fall all over the place. It's probably because of Elon Musk. All right. So any other last calls? Because that's the headlines as I know them. It is.
You know, every time we have a podcast, we always immediately after, like, why didn't we talk about this?
that's true, but that's because
There's
we're-
so much.
we're
It's going to happen.
there's too many. There's too many. And we need a producer to actually go through these things first.
There you go. Yeah,
Sometimes
call
tired
it-
of
call it
Maybe the
for ya.
Warden can take that up after his football analysis career.
Maybe.
All right, it is Friday, July 12th, 2024.
All right, so I'm just going to tell you what's trending on X right now.
no.
President Biden,
Oh, no.
Candace Owens. Okay, that's all political. Tulsi? What do you think about Tulsi Gabbard?
I think she's full of shit. But
Woo! Smoke show.
she had some good ideas for a while, but then she went, betrayed them.
So she left the Democratic Party and now she's
No.
crazy, is what you're saying.
No. She used to be anti-war, and now she's all back into the whole warmongering.
She's still anti-war.
No. She's been making. You got to listen to all of her.
She's been posting about avoiding World War
She-
III,
she
which
does,
we
but then-
should be concerned
But then
about.
you got to look at her other statements, and so she's not.
Instead,
straight-
we have people shouting out their vaginas on the street because of
Who's that?
you haven't seen
there's a
the
vagina
protest. Don't you know how to shout out your vagina, Muskrat?
If I could hear a shouting
I
vagina, that
digress.
would be. I'd pay.
JFK Jr. signed the petition to get him some
Oh,
Secret Service support.
Yeah, he's been asking for that for a while.
Go to his website.
Yeah, RFK Jr. Interesting one, but he's the same on
The
Palestine.
warden's
I'm
trending.
trending.
The Warden is trending.
The warden is trending.
Trending on X.
We got Agenda 47, not to be confused with what Operation 2025.
Oh,
That's big in the
Project-
news right now.
Project
Project
2025.
2025.
yeah.
Yeah, that was big in the news.
That got stolen by gay furry hackers, is what I was told.
Project 2025.
They hacked the Heritage Foundation and stole those docs. Gay furry hackers is what I was told.
Okay, so
I
Project
haven't confirmed
2025
that.
had its origins, as far as I know, about a year ago. It started coming up in the news, and they were tracing that back to the
In
Koch brothers,
2023,
like the radical
yeah,
right.
the Cokes, the Cokes.
So now it's all of a sudden, because the whole election's just a fucking clusterfuck between the two parties. Now you got the left trying to say that Trump is trying to institute Project 2025, and Trump's saying like, no, like that's bullshit, and I'm Agenda
Well, yeah,
47.
they won 2025.
He's also saying, I'm against it,
but I
I've
think
never
that's
heard of it.
yeah. But I think, well, I mean, I think this is just a fucking talking point. The point is I think people are so entrenched in their fucking party loyalties now that nothing's changing. I don't know how many people are middle of the road
That
anymore.
doesn't change because both Democrats and Republicans are right fascists. That's it. There's no
Well, aren't
left
they all
wing.
now,
The far left and far right
There
are
is no
both
left.
fascists.
There is no left wing here in
Well, now
America.
they're saying like there's the Democratic Socialist Party. Like
I mean, no
that
one's
doesn't
voting
even,
for
doesn't
that.
make any sense.
No one's voting for that.
You don't think there's a left in
There is
America?
no left that's in power in America. No, the Democrats are not left. We can have a whole conversation on this another day.
You think the people that advocate for Marxism and communism
First of all,
are
no
not
one's
left?
doing that. No one's doing that. And the closest we got was Bernie, and he's a Democratic socialist.
No. You're not listening to a lot of the
No, there's no one
the
in-
minorities that are saying that.
First of all, minorities are not elected officials. There's no left wing in power.
there
in
are
America.
minorities that are elected officials, and they keep claiming racism. And racism isn't even a thing anymore in my book because you can't define it. It's so watered down that I just don't even fucking care.
All
anymore.
I'm saying is there's no left wing policy being pushed by anyone in power currently.
So you're saying that the people that are saying that the multimillionaires that have to pay more and
Who's this? So Bernie talks about that. It doesn't get
they're
passed.
all talking about it.
Doesn't
They're
get passed.
saying make the 1%ers pay more in taxes.
The few, no one's passing that law, and that's not extreme left. That's normal politics back in the day.
And of course, they talk about the 1%ers, but they're talking about anybody who makes more money. Well, do you know that?
What do you mean more money? They have it defined.
So an NFL player just came out and posted his paycheck the other day. 50% of his per game income is being taken away by taxes.
Well, did you know that he's
So
getting
we have
taxed?
tax brackets.
Did you know that
but they want to suck more away
No,
from
no,
the people that
hold
make
on.
more money.
He gets taxed.
You're telling me that's not Marxism?
He gets taxed on income. Most rich people are getting taxed on capital gains, which is only 30 to 35%. So they pay more as an NFL player because it's income than the rich ass.
Then close the loopholes.
No, that's the thing. No one will do that. There is no left wing
It's
in
not.
America.
It's.
Well,
I
brackets.
completely
it's,
disagree.
Bill
There
Gates spends gets
To
taxed
say
the
that
same
there's
first
no
30
radical left
There
in
is not.
America today,
There isn't.
then who is the radical right fighting against?
No,
you
no.
do not see
Oh,
two
no.
diametrically opposed people
They're
in
two,
this.
Okay, here's what it is. It's a circle. It's a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
And this is the neoliberals on the left, quote left, and the conservatives. Okay, the only difference is the neoliberals talk about trans rights and the conservatives talk about gun rights. And that's your choice. It's paper or plastic, as Carlin says. There is no left wing, real left wing. There's none.
So what's your definition of left wing then?
The real left wants to move more towards equal distribution. So
Socialism.
well,
Like-
socialism is one form of it.
So
Like
you don't
wealth
think that
distribution.
anybody's advocating for more socialism today?
The only thing you're getting is some people saying we should tax more and do social programs, universal health care, but that's very few people say that. And when
No.
when Bernie was on
We
the
have
verge,
half the population today screaming about more social programs.
well, listen, we all should have universal
The
health care.
Democratic Party is left. The Republican
They're
Party
not.
is right.
They're not,
And
'cause-
then there are two very radical,
Here's why it's not
parts
left.
of that.
Here's why it's not left. And, this
and
is a
they are
topic
dominating the
This
conversation.
is a topic
in
for
politics
another
today.
day, but
yes, it probably
here
is.
is why it's not the Democratic Party are not left. Because when Bernie was on the verge, he is more popular than any of the candidates that ran in 2016 and 2020. The Democratic Party shut him down. They told every interview was like, how are you going to pay for that? How are you going to pay for that? Meanwhile, money goes to Ukraine, money goes to the military. No one asks how are you going to pay for that. But if it's about giving people health care, how are you going to pay for that? How are you going to pay for that? Or you're going to tax people, aka it's called a premium. You pay your premium every month, $200 some, $300 some. That would be your tax. It would change from a premium to a tax, and that's how you pay for health care.
So I'm trying to understand your point of view here, and what you're suggesting is
The Dems
that
don't want that. They're,
because there's still the rhetoric being thrown out about the left, socialism,
Of course they do.
Marxism, and the far left. You're saying that those are just buzzwords and that
Well,
it's not
right,
truly
correct. They call
left-wing.
everyone that runs as a Democrat socialist. They call Biden a socialist. He doesn't do anything socialist. They called Obama, and he watered down the healthcare plan to the point of nothing. So he didn't even go for the public option because he wouldn't have been able to get it passed. But he even backed away from that. What was that guy's name? The Democrat that said he would never. He was like the weirdest Democrat, and then he left the party and went and got money from the private sector. Lieberman. Lieberman's like, oh no, we're going to vote for health
I
care.
can think of weirder Democrats than Lieberman.
No, but
he is
there's
pretty weird.
always the bad guy. Now it's Manchin and Cinema, and then if like let's say the Democrats take over again, it'll be some other douche or like
Well, by the same token, you could say that the Republican Party isn't as right.
well, no, they're all what they are is corporatists.
Yeah.
and they pretend that they either want
It's the
freedom
uniparty.
and guns or trans and abortions. I don't know. That's like the only things they talk about. That's it. Anyways, this is not the topic for today. We got to get to a break, and then we'll talk football.
Hank Carlson here, proprietor of Baked Beans and Books and Furries Wear Boots. Did you ever wonder how many bites it would take to get to the bottom of a giant vat of baked beans? Well, I tried it once, but all the beans kept collapsing in on the hole I was making. I ate the whole vat. Stop on down to Baked Beans and Books to get yourself a heaping handful of baked beans and peruse the selection of books. While you're at it, stop at Furries Wear Boots. 11111 State Street, Madison, Wisconsin. Baked Beans and Books. When books just aren't enough.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're back. It is
Way back.
Friday, July 12th, 2024. Email the show packetsandbolts@gmail.com, packetsandbolts@gmail.com. Follow us in Discord, Mastodon.
Real slow.
All right. Well, I'm still drinking some wine. This stuff is pretty good. I'm going to have to get another bottle, assuming they carry it.
You did good.
We're not doing listener emails tonight because I have not looked through them at all. And
Oh,
we'll
come
save
on.
it- we'll save it.
Uncensored listener emails. Let's
We'll
do it.
save it.
Unfiltered.
Let's do listener email roulette.
Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get to the Warden.
Do you get a lot of like really angry emails?
I haven't yet.
Do we get like nonsense ones where
Why
people
do
are
you-
just jerking
why
around?
do you have to
That's
censor
probably
them,
half
Muskrat?
of them. That's right.
Like what? I'm kind of curious to know about the ones that are like just jerk off.
Well, I'm wondering if any of them are actually serious because they could all just be full of it.
Well, you don't read them, so how would you know?
Stop,
Well, we do.
stop
Normally.
condescending to our listeners.
No, I'm just saying they might just be pulling our leg. I don't know if they're actually.
Who cares? It's an email. It's
Well,
not
there are the people that ask us like to cover UFOs or a certain topic, and those are probably serious. The other ones, I don't know. Never know.
What's the most off-base, funniest one you've seen that we never actually?
Well, isn't
covered?
it
Like,
Billy Bob or whatever his name is?
Yeah,
Which he hasn't
fuck
written
that
for a
guy.
while.
Fuck
I
that
know he's a great guy.
what
Great
does-
listener. We love all our
What,
listeners.
what does he say? What does he say?
What? I'd have to
Every
go pull
email
up the
he sent
archive.
was bullshit. Every single one.
Don't listen to Mongoose doesn't know what he's
How do
talking
you
about.
really
Billy Bob.
feel?
I'd have to go pull it up. The other problem is I wasn't recording them. Like, I wasn't keeping track. So now, historically, we'd have to like actually
There's no
listen to the.
archive.
Just go back to year 1 and year 2 and listen to the Billy Bob emails. You'll know what I'm talking about. Go back in the archives.
You telling me to?
Speaking of what's going on with Hank Hurlson?
Well, he's he's still running the show. COVID slowed him down a little bit down in Madison, but
Is he still doing commercials?
yeah, he's he's the sponsor.
Is it the same fucking commercial for
I
the
don't
last
think
3
he sent
years?
us. I don't think he sent us a new one for a while.
Well, he needs a new commercial.
All right. Well, we're on the NFL and the NFC. What'd you say? The NFC North was
NFC
your
North.
specialty here. Now I'm
Yeah.
not. Other than me complaining about the Packers every so often, this is really a mongoose and Warden, and maybe Dub Sanchez some things here. But what?
I don't know. You guys sure talk a lot of shit come football season to say
Well,
that you're not football.
I'm
fans.
pretty apathetic.
I just
but
do it to antagonize you. That's
Yeah,
really
it is.
only,
It is pretty funny to do
That's
that.
my only motivation. I really couldn't care less or know what I'm talking about. To be honest, I thought that was obvious.
So like
but-
you guys have bad taste. So like listeners, let's do a poll. What team do these guys like?
All right, so let's get down to the brass tacks. You said that training camp is starting, and that's coming up in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, I know the Chicago Bears report to camp in 1 week. 1 week from today.
Now, what are you guys looking at? What's the big hotness right now going on here?
Well, I'll tell you, number one, football season signals the end of summer, so that's bittersweet. So,
It's going to be summer all day now, forever.
Well, and what?
It's always going to be summer soon.
why?
What?
Well, haven't we seen the changing, man? It's changing.
Oh, the global warming,
Yeah.
climate change.
Well, we're going to be prime real estate. Like I've
That's
said-
why
I've been saying it.
That's why Bill Gates still has property, oceanfront property.
Yeah, he's buying
and he's
everything.
not selling.
Well, he's got 800 houses. He doesn't care. One goes under. He's just like, that's my
5
aquarium now. Hey guys, that's my aquarium. All the Epstein evidence has been drowned.
Nice.
All right. So Miami. Now that's not NFC North, but Miami's going to be under. How are they looking? The Dolphins, are they swimming or are they sinking?
That's AFC.
Well, yeah, sure, I know. It's
Was
totally.
that AFC? What conference?
East.
They? East.
They're
yeah,
AFC East.
Yeah.
Yeah, are they sinking or swimming?
Dan
They'll
Marino.
swim.
All right.
They made the playoffs last year, so
Yeah, they're still good.
they'll swim.
How many dolphin barks do they get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's give them, I'd say 3. I don't know what that scale references, but
So I think the
We'll go
Chiefs
with
are
3.
probably still the front runners in the AFC, but the Ravens will be good this year.
Who's smoking the Chiefs
Texans.
this year?
Texans are going to be good for sure.
Yeah.
Texans.
In fact, I could see a Chicago Bears Houston Texans Super Bowl this year.
they play each other in week
What?
3, I
That's
think.
the Hall of
Wait,
Fame game.
what are
No,
you
they
saying?
play
Oh,
the Hall
in the
of
regular season.
Very first game of preseason is the Super Bowl lineup.
Who'd you say?
Bears and Texans.
Bears Texans.
You think that could be the Super Bowl?
Yeah, fuck the Packers.
No one's talking about that. What now? How many weeks in will you know for sure if that's true or not?
I think you'll know as far as quarterback play. You'll know by November. It'll take a couple months, but you'll know by November.
Yeah, you
if
can't
Caleb
expect-
Williams.
So the Warden, you're in on this. This could be the. Are you agreeing with Mongoose?
I mean, I don't know about Super Bowl preview, but as far as knowing about your quarterback, it's going to take a couple months, but you'll know by November. By say Thanksgiving, you'll know if you got something.
But do you think that there's a good shot for that to be the quarterback or the Super Bowl?
I mean, it's possible. Texans had a good year
So,
last year.
so do you think that Caleb Williams is an upgrade over Justin Fields?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
E-
It's early
even-
though, so I mean, there's going to be some growing pains, right?
Even if Justin Fields is a better athlete, everything about Caleb Williams says he's a better quarterback, and that's what you need.
So ESPN is projecting that, and granted, the Bears have arguably the best surrounding offensive talent for a rookie quarterback entering, well, at least in franchise history.
Do they have protection?
Well, that's arguable. I think, and I'd have to look this up, but I think the Bears' offensive line is ranked at least at the top
20th.
half of the NFL. No, they're at least in the top 15.
And I think you're right. And I think I actually saw a ranking that they were ranked higher than the Packers' offensive line.
Because that's what always doomed
And
the
I
Packers.
think, but I think that's generous. Like, I'm not sold on the Bears' offensive line. But assuming that Caleb Williams isn't running for his life, I mean, he's got definitely. I think arguably, and Vikings fans would disagree, but I think he's got the best receiving core in the NFC North.
You think so?
I think no question he does.
Well, again,
Your top three. I mean,
Really?
Vikings have Justin Jefferson, but
and Jordan Addison.
yeah. But I mean, 1, 2, 3. I would take. I mean, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Adunze over.
Plus you
Vikings
got
have.
Swift, DeAndre
Yeah.
Swift.
Taylor
If he
Swift.
can-
Taylor?
Different
the Chiefs
Swift.
got Taylor Swift. That's a more powerful weapon than DeAndre Swift. But DeAndre Swift is a sleeper, man. That guy, great.
He's only
receiving back.
25.
Yeah, in his
So.
prime.
Catches a lot of balls.
You got Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett. Both, I mean, Gerald Everett's underrated. Cole Kmet, I think this could be his breakout year. Caleb Williams had a good rapport with his tight ends in college. So, I mean, this could be the year that, the Bears take off. This is definitely the best offensive lineup the Bears have had since Jay Cutler had Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey,
Why do I feel like
Martellus
this,
Bennett.
Why do I feel like I hear
Matt
this
Forte.
annually from you?
We'll get to
But it's
we'll
a
get to the
fact.
critique of this.
But it's a fact.
We'll get to the critique of this soon. But right now we're hearing the rainbows and
They've been
sunshine
talking
right
about
now.
Caleb Williams as a generational talent. I mean, since college.
He's definitely the
So.
best quarterback prospect to come out in years.
Okay, wait. We're talking about Bears quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
correct.
Now who is this?
Caleb Williams,
Now last year was
USC quarterback.
And before that,
no Bears quarterback.
Oh,
last year.
Justin Fields.
And he did all right.
the problem with Justin Fields is he couldn't process fast.
So where is he
Right.
now?
Pittsburgh.
So he's gone. And
He's
this
gone
is
from the
this is the
Bears.
first
They
year
traded him, yes.
that this guy is going to be on the Bears.
Correct.
And every year, like what Dub Central's saying, the quarterback hopes are always high. But you're convinced
But to
that
be-
this time is different.
But to be fair, like just Jordan Love only has half a season as a good play as a starting quarterback. So Caleb Williams is eight games
I'm just asking.
removed from
I'm just asking questions here.
what Jordan Love was doing.
yeah, let's talk about the Packers for a second, okay? So
Yeah, so get this. Talking about their protection problems, then last year they have good protection. So they let Aaron Rodgers go, getting beat up most of his career, and then they get a line. So why do the Packers always suck at protecting their quarterbacks until recently?
they don't.
Usually they do. Favre was running all the
Aaron
time.
Rodgers had good protection.
No, he was running all the time too.
Look, I think
on,
a lot.
man.
I think a lot of it, honestly, is due to Matt LaFleur. I was laughing when the Packers hired Matt LaFleur, and
LaFleur.
I'm eating those words now because he's actually proven himself to be a pretty good head coach.
LaFleur.
I mean, Jordan Love is willing to run his offense. Aaron Rodgers kind of ran his own offense.
Right.
And Jordan
Right.
Love is willing to run LaFleur's offense the way he wants it to be run. So you're seeing like a genuine
The thing is about Jordan Love, okay, he started out last year shitty, and all of Green Bay, for amusement, I would log into the local radio, sports radio, out of Green Bay after Packer games, and I would just sit there and drink and just love all of the people calling in, just freaking out.
who had also been drinking for a long
yeah,
period of time.
because it's Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but toward the second half of the season, especially after that Saints game where they gave him the ball and he somehow held the game together. He did not have a great game, but after that, he strung together some really good. And Jordan Love had arguably one of the better second half of the season than any of the quarterbacks last year. However, he never. He had such great protection.
Well, he did. Right.
Nobody put a pass rush in his face. And it's like defenses didn't know how to address the Packers. Because the Packers got a lot of speed. They have an inexperienced receiver core. I think they're overrated. They have a lot of speedsters with questionable hands who don't run good routes. The thing is, now you've given an offseason for your opponents to watch film. And we've seen it time and time again when your opponents are able to watch film and develop strategy, that things are going to change. And I think Jordan Love is ready for a season worth of regression. And Packer fans, whenever I tell them about this, like, you're insane, Mongoose. You're fucking stupid.
Well,
Idiot.
Mark my words.
Here's the conundrum for the Packers: is they're in a position where they have to pay their quarterback based on a half season of really good play, but top of the market money. So, are you ready to give Jordan Love $60 million a year? Because I mean, that's what the market is going to demand. And you only have half a season of good play to judge that on.
Hey,
But
I'm gonna have Bill Belichick send me some of that Maine lobster from up in New England area halfway through the season this year.
don't have his 21-year-old girlfriend bring it to you. Don't,
Yeah.
Don't have
Yeah,
Bill.
and good
don't
for
have Bill bring it.
Belichick. You know, I think that's all.
Don't have Bill bring it to you.
But hey, amen, baby, Bill Belichick. You know, but you know, the thing is you're right. He's going to get signed to a multi-million-dollar contract, and if he regresses and he's not as good as he let on the last half of the season, I'm going to be eating Maine lobster and just loving it.
Well, hey, if the Packers realize that protection makes, mediocre quarterbacks awesome, then that's a great lesson to learn.
And the team with the best offensive line in division won the division last year. So
That's the thing. If we would have had great lines during the Favre and Aaron Rodgers period, it would have been unstoppable. You know, you've got Bill Belichick and Brady, who not only cheated, but also had a great line. And when you combine those two things, you get a mediocre quarterback, Brady, and then he's all of a sudden considered the greatest. And he's nothing compared to Favre. Favre would run that guy over.
I don't know about all that.
Tom Brady's
I don't know how much
hands down-
wine you had, but
Tom Brady, hands down, best quarterback in NFL
You put
history.
Favre and Brady in a arena, who's coming out? You know it's Favre.
If it's based on football talent, it's Brady.
What about
No,
Joe Montana?
90s Favre in an arena, locked. Brady, any year.
but
Who
Brady.
wins?
Well, Brady, but that's
John
just,
Elway.
That's just it. Like Brady, at any point in his career.
You'd be destroyed by Favre. Yeah.
Now,
No,
if we're talking
he's
about
the
like
better
just
quarterback.
pain
No, we're
thresholds,
talking about right.
I mean, Favre had so many painkillers running through his veins in his prime that
I'm
he could.
saying you lock them in an arena.
The
Who
best-
comes out?
Like physical
It's Favre.
combat?
It's Favre.
One of the most memorable football plays I ever saw in my time watching football was the play where Favre got hammered and got concussed.
Probably yes.
They walked
Shot
him
him up
out
on the
of
sideline.
bounds.
Yep.
He
He
didn't get
sat
shot
out
up.
one play with his backup playing. He stumbled in because they didn't take his helmet away. He stumbles in. The backup runs out like, what the fuck's going on? Favre takes the
ball.
snap, and he throws a dart for a touchdown.
Yes.
And then he stumbles out of the bounds and
Yes.
collapses.
100%.
And he said
instinct.
he didn't remember doing it.
100% instinct. That's the top quarterback right there.
One of the best plays I've ever seen.
Brady would never do that.
No, because Favre had so many painkillers. Let me tell you, and this deserves mention on the podcast, and I told you guys this story before, but I have it on good authority.
a great
Allegedly, and I'm going to say that word
Allegedly.
allegedly.
It's a legend.
Because Brett Favre, if you're listening, you're not going to sue us. This is a alleged story, but you know damn well when you went golfing with Chef Chan, your executive chef from Brett Favre Steakhouse in
So the
Green
story
Bay.
goes. So the story
goes. When you shit your pants and you washed your drawers in the ball washer,
Allegedly.
allegedly,
If you remember.
you were so drunk. But you know what? I named my fantasy football team Favre's Dirty Ball Washer after your antics one year.
You're welcome.
Allegedly. Alleged antics. And that's another thing Brady wouldn't do. And that's why Favre's awesome.
Oh, Favre definitely awesome.
I would rather go golfing with Favre than Brady. No,
Correct.
hands down.
Yeah, you don't want your balls deflated, so, you know.
I'd smash a case of beer with Brett Favre.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. So back to the predictions. All right, so you're saying that they're going to be top contenders, the Bears and Texans, right? That's what you're saying.
So I just pulled up the Vikings depth chart, okay, because the Vikings suck ass. Fuck Minnesota. Not as much as fuck the Packers, but fuck
I've got some
Minnesota.
family members that get mad at you.
Dude, their website doesn't even have their
Their first
roster.
round pick.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's not even listed on the depth chart.
but they're all talking about J.J. McCarthy, how he's gonna, the next best thing since sliced bread.
Well, they're
J.J.
slicing
McCarthy.
bread now?
So yeah, they got Nick Mullins, Jarrett Hall, J.J. McCarthy. Didn't they pick somebody else up? Don't they have? Oh, they have Sam Darnold too.
They do.
He's not even on this fucking roster.
And he'll probably be your starting quarterback week 1.
Yeah, for sure. Or Nick Mullins. It's not going to be J.J. McCarthy.
No.
There's
no
That's-
T.J.
see, the
Hawkinson as a tight end either.
Again, we're going to leave the North. Or wait, maybe they – wait, who?
We're still in the North.
Where's Dallas go? Where are they?
We don't
NFC
care about
East.
Dallas.
Okay, yeah.
Dallas.
No, I got to ask him about Dallas. What does he think with his Dallas this year?
Well, so talking about paying quarterbacks, Dallas is in a similar boat. They got Dak Prescott's going to be a free agent after this season, so they got to get ready to pay him. And they have a pass rusher and a receiver that also need to
So
get
is
paid.
Jones going to be on a scale of 1 to 5 cries? So this is the opposite ranking. The more cries, the more sad he is, right? So how many cries is Jones this year?
Probably 4.
I think the Cowboys are destined to make the playoffs again, and they will not go far. And I think that's the story forever until Jerry Jones dies.
They haven't won a Super Bowl since the early 90s.
They're good enough not to suck, but they're never good enough to win it.
But that's the problem. You can't be in this league. You either have to be good enough to win it or it's so bad that you can reboot your franchise. So the teams that perennially win like 9, 10 games, you're not bad enough to get good, better, and you're good
But
enough.
would it even matter to reboot it if Jones is around meddling? Because he diddles things.
So, but they don't
He's
have
a diddler.
but they don't have a horrible track record of drafting outside of. I mean,
No, but he's a micromanager.
yeah. I mean, he.
You don't think that's
And
some
he,
of the
and he
problems?
hires yes men. Okay, so you had
It is.
Garrett, yeah, Jason Garrett, and then after he got fired, you got Mike McCarthy, and they're all yes men.
You think Mike McCarthy's on his knees, or
Yeah.
No.
Oh, definitely.
He's a knee patter.
Definitely.
How, on a scale from 1 to 5, how many?
He's got
How many
some-
knee
How many?
pads?
How many?
How
his
many
knee-
knee pads?
His knee pads are pretty worn down.
How many knee pads thick?
You
is
gotta
that?
be to work for Jerry Jones.
How
Like,
many? So how
it's
many?
yes
A
man
scale of
job.
1 to 5. How many knee pads?
7.
And they're all worn down.
He's 7 deep.
7 knee pads just to not scuff your knees up.
Why an odd number?
So-
Favoring one side to the other?
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
No,
which
it's
way
how
it-
many each knee has. That's what it is.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
Per knee.
So per knee.
Okay, I didn't think it was like a collective.
Per knee allocation.
Come on, dub
That-
stench. Why not?
Why? That was a smart. Hey, that was a.
Your knee pad now is just a little light. I'm a little concerned.
I had a disclaimer right away that I didn't know a lot of sports stuff.
He's
so.
doing the math in his head.
No, that was a good observation. It was good to be clarified that each
Yeah.
knee gets its own pad.
There you go.
Unless he's doing a kneeling. Unless he's kneeling instead of genuflecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Genu-
what I was thinking. Like
he might be
Like Tim Tebow.
genuflecting
He might be
because
Tim Tebow.
because
Take it on
doesn't
me.
Jones have a god complex? So he might be genuflecting instead of kneeling.
Might be. You got the Tim Tebow going on.
Okay, so look at this. Look at this Vikings. Look at this Vikings secondary here. Vikings fans are saying they got the best secondary in the NFL. Do you think that looks like the best secondary in the NFL?
Well, let's name them because
Caleb Evans, Byron Murphy, Harrison Smith, and Cameron Bynum. Okay, you got good safeties.
Lord Byron.
Your cornerbacks are still suspect, dude. They're,
Yeah. And there's no
Your
depth. There's
cornerbacks
no
are
depth.
suspect.
there
Caleb
either.
Williams is going to carve the Vikings off.
Did you just call their cornerbacks suspect?
Yeah, they're suspect.
All right, is that a proper analysis?
I think all the
of
quarterbacks in the division could carve up that secondary.
Yeah, it's not a very good.
Carve it up like a turkey, man, at Thanksgiving.
All right, let's talk about the Packers because they suck balls.
Oh,
Here we go.
All right, so what do you think about the Packers receiving core, Dubstanch?
I don't know.
Okay, you got Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs,
Here's what I think is going to happen.
Dontavian Wicks,
Dontavian's a great name.
I
Why-
don't know.
why
Hey,
is
and they're missing half the receivers. I don't
don't hate these people
understand this fucking
What's
like.
that?
Where's Jordan Reed? Like,
Dontavian.
what is with these fucking?
Yeah, they're not complete.
So Dontavian's a great name, but why doesn't anyone get named Octavian?
These are the official team websites.
How come no one's named Octavian anymore?
That's a good
Octavian.
question.
Yeah.
Because it's not 550 BC. That's why.
Or 280. Yeah, it's arranged.
All right, so here's what's going to happen. You guys are going to see the biggest overachieving offense that you've seen.
Do you notice a theme in the mug shots for these Packers?
In the last 20 years.
Javon Bullard, Breton Cox
What
Jr.?
is it?
Hairstyle.
What's the hairstyle? I can't see it.
They look like, what is it, like sea anemones? Like, what are those sea creatures that have the things
The ones
coming
that
out
get
of
hit
the...
by propellers? They're like sea cows?
They look like penises with things coming out of their head. Like
Wait a minute. Wait. I thought you were talking about the sea cows or whatever.
Yeah, do you see that, Dub Stench? What is that? What do you call that hairstyle?
Oh, you think of a sea cucumber?
Oh, a sea
A sea-
cucumber.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cucumber.
very different than an enemy. Whatever you call it.
So the Packers have signed a bunch of sea cucumbers to fill out their roster.
At least 2.
At least 2 sea cucumbers.
1 sea.
There's another one. Jarvian Howard,
3.
running back.
All right.
That's kind of a sea.
Enough
Looks like
of the marine biology.
He might be wearing a Mickey Mouse hat.
So listen, you're going to see the greatest overachieving offense since like the last 20 years. And it's going to make you shit your pants. And you'll be washing your pants in the ball washer.
That's how I do all my laundry
So
these
I
days.
forgot.
based on-
I forgot they have Bo Melton. So here's the thing about the Packers: they got Xavier McKinney. That was their big offseason signing. Okay, arguably, supposedly, the best safety in the NFC North now,
All right.
and I think he's up there.
All right. And so that's going to be key.
I don't think the Bears safeties are better, but I think the Bears safeties are good.
Yeah. So at this point, what in like week 3 or week 4, when the Bears are underperforming so bad, at what point do you say that you've blown your predictions?
Fucking, I said Jordan.
Or are you going to hold out?
Jaden Reed.
I don't think you do. It's simply because like they have a rookie quarterback. So, the learning curve is going to be steep, especially early in the season. But they've got a good defense. They've got a good supporting cast. So he's not going to have to do it all. And that's the thing with Justin Fields. He had to do it all when he was in Chicago because they had no support around him. Now they've got a better defense. They've got good receivers. They've got decent offensive line. Good tight end.
But that was another problem with Justin Fields is he didn't know when to check down. He was always looking for the big play. He always tried to force things, to force the big play. And he would hold on to the ball and scramble around until he saw that big pass. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, we don't see that happening, at least in OTAs or rookie minicamp with Caleb Williams. And at USC, he had arguably one of the worst offensive lines in college football. And he was still able to put together just a remarkable season last year. And so now he's coming into the NFL where he's got one of the best offensive lineups that the Bears have ever had. And he's got a much better offensive line compared to the competition that, the defenses that they're going to face. I mean, the Bears' offensive line should be good enough to give him time compared to what USC fielded last year. I mean, he was running for his life last year in collegiate football.
I mean, the Bears won 7 games last year, so I don't think 10 wins is not a question.
Yeah, the Bears should be a playoff team this year, and I think that's the bar.
All right.
So let me just say here, I hear this every year.
This
probably
is
for the last at least 10, 15 years.
Testify it, Dub Stench. Testify.
Mongoose is always talking how great the Bears are going to be this year, blah, blah, blah. They got this guy, this is happening, whatever lineup, so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. This lasts about 4 weeks into the season, and then it plummets.
That's a fair assessment, Dub Stench. However, all I have to do is tell you to look at the positions they got, okay? So, I mean, last year when they brought in Montez, let's just talk about the defense and get that out of the way, okay?
Yeah,
last year, the Bears' defense sucked until they signed Montez Sweat halfway through the season. And he ended up leading both the Commanders and the Bears in sacks. He might have been the first player in NFL history to lead 2 teams in sacks in a single year.
Oh, my gosh.
And as soon as they signed Montez Sweat, the Bears became a top 5 defense in the NFL. Now they're returning most of those guys. They had
the number 1 rush defense last year.
Yep, they have. I really believe that Gervon Dexter Sr. is going to take a leap at that 3 technique position this year. I think the middle of that line he's gonna break out.
You got
I
two
think
good linebackers
they
last
drafted
year.
Austin Booker, so like that's the glaring hole. Like they talk about two glaring holes on the Bears, potentially the offensive line. They talk about the pass rush. Well, Austin Booker, who they drafted in what, the 5th round?
5th round, yeah.
That guy was a steal. Like everybody said that was a steal. We're not even. By the way, we're not even talking about special teams.
Punter. They drafted a punter in the 4th round. Stud punter from Iowa.
Stud Punter is
Yeah.
his name. That'd be a great name.
That is
Stud
cool.
Punter.
Yeah. So what's his name? Is it
Tory Taylor.
Tory Taylor? Yeah. So
Not as good as stud punter, but you know.
the guy single-handedly won games as a punter for Iowa last year. So like he's the
Single-footedly.
X factor. So he's a catalyst for the defense because he is going to be able to consistently pin teams within the 10-yard line because he can put emotion on the football and just make it stop. Like I've never seen a punter
Sounds like cheating.
Like a curveball, or a knuckleball in
Yes.
baseball. If it doesn't
Yes, like a
football.
Tim Wakefield in baseball terms,
Just
or the
kinda floats
knuckleball.
over there.
He can put a motion on the ball that just makes it sit down, and he can pin people. He can pin that offense inside the 10, and that's consistently going to turn into good field position for the Bears' offense, maybe safeties for the defense. So you talk about a top
turnovers.
5 defense potentially for the Bears being even better and being, empowered by that punter. that
If
special
Caleb Williams is average, this team can win 10 games. He doesn't
Yes.
have to be.
He just
CJ
has to manage
Stroud,
the
doesn't have
games.
to be great. He just has to
Okay,
be
so
average.
now to address Dubstek's concern. Quarterback improved. Best quarterback prospect in God knows how
Probably
long.
since Andrew Luck.
Yeah, that's what they're saying actually. Okay.
I can't read.
He checks all the boxes.
What are those
and he's been
boxes?
performing. The biggest criticism of Caleb Williams this year in OTAs and rookie minicamp is that he's learning to take more snaps under center. He will have a learning curve with fumbles. He was turnover prone last year in terms of fumbles. Okay, he operated mostly out of the shotgun at USC.
Cadence has been an issue.
And cadence has been an issue. So he's working on that. But he's eager. His attitude's good. They question his leadership. That's not been a problem. That was all just media hype, and now everybody's behind that. Okay, so these are all coachable things. It's not a talent issue. He checks all those boxes. He's got incredible arm strength. He can scramble, not like Justin Fields, but he can scramble better than most quarterbacks. He's
We'll know in a couple weeks.
He's consistently accurate. He can throw on the run. His vision is stellar. They said one of the things that they've been remarking on is the fact that he's throwing with anticipation. So Justin Fields, whether it be because that Cleveland Browns game where Matt Nagy hung him out to dry and he got like sacked 7 times in one game.
I think it was more than. I think it was like 11.
It was
Yeah,
it was
a lot.
insane. His
It was a
rookie
lot.
season, and ever since that, it was like a deer in headlights. Well, Caleb Williams throws with anticipation. He knows where his receivers are supposed to be. He understands the offense already. I mean, they're still breaking in the playbook, but he's going to be ready.
All right.
Okay, you've complimented him with a free agent signing of DeAndre Swift. What, didn't they pick him up from the Eagles? Wasn't he on the Eagles last year?
Yep.
He started with Detroit.
Yeah.
He's a receiving back.
He's only
incredibly
he's only
quick.
25.
Okay, you've
Traded
got Cole
for-
Kmet, who
yeah.
is already just a remarkable tight end. You picked up Gerald Everett from the Chargers last year. You got 2 great tight ends.
Traded for Keenan Allen. Traded a 4th round pick. for
Yep. Also,
Allen.
Keenan Allen, who's Pro Bowl wide receiver. Obviously, DJ Moore, most underrated wide receiver in the NFL, hands down. You saw what he did last year with Justin Fields as the only receiver on that offense.
No, I didn't.
You saw it every week.
How about what? Didn't he have a 297-yard performance last year?
Against the Commanders, I think.
And that was with Justin Fields throwing a ball. Like, I mean, if anything, like he's got too many receivers to throw.
He's got too many, man.
Too
He's
many
got too many
targets.
choices.
Too many targets.
All right. So your prediction, real prediction, not the Super Bowl
Undefeated.
thing.
Bears are going undefeated.
Oh,
this year,
okay. So Mongoose,
I
undefeated
think,
Bears. The
undefeated
Warden.
Bears. The Lions will make the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
The Packers may not win a game this year. And the Vikings suck ass.
Has
What's
anyone
in that wine? I wonder.
Has
I wonder
anyone
what's in that
has
wine.
anyone had a shutout season ever?
Like no
yeah,
wins?
the Lions never won a game.
Browns did it. Lions did it.
Wow, that would be horrible. Not even one
Buccaneers,
game.
I think, did it back in the day.
Okay.
happened a couple
All right.
times.
Now the Warden. What's your predictions? Bears.
I'm gonna go 10-7. They won 7 games last year. I think there were a couple games they should have won. Go 10,
3.
10-7.
10-7.
3 games last year the Bears should have won. They were leading in the fourth quarter
All right.
by multiple scores, and they blew it.
Yeah. Well, there's something we said about the coaching. I don't know. But
Yeah, and they got rid of Getsy. They got Shane Waldron now.
Goatsy? Who'd they have? Goatsy?
They had Luke Getsy, who they hired from the fucking shitty Packers,
Who's now with the Raiders.
who had never called
The
a play in
Raiders.
his life as an
The
offensive
Raiders.
is a coach in Green Bay. They hire him as offensive coordinator and expect him to call plays, and it's just screen pass, screen pass, screen
Awesome.
pass, screen pass.
Hey, a well-executed screen. But it's got to be
Yeah.
well-executed.
Well, they put the offense in the hands of a fucking idiot, and
Okay.
now he goes to L.A. Or is it Oakland? Where the fuck are the Raiders?
Vegas, Las Vegas.
Vegas,
Yeah,
no,
Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
Christ, man, I'm old.
We just move that team around as we find
Yeah,
it.
Well, they've been to all those
They're very
places,
fluid.
so.
So Getsy goes to Las Vegas.
Goatsy's in Vegas. okay.
And early reports after OTAs were like, we don't know about Getsy.
Goatsy.
I could have told you that. We could have told you that. He sucks. You bring over Shane Waldron from the Seahawks,
Yeah, he's an accomplished guy.
accomplished guy who's great working with mobile quarterbacks.
All
Look
right.
what he did with Geno Smith last year.
All right.
The Bears are set up for success. The Packers suck. Fuck the Packers.
I think he's had a lot of wine today. But those chimes are telling us we got to do a recap here. So let me just remember. You guys can repeat your stuff in a bit, but let's just recap. The Cowboys. Mongoose gave Patrick, who's the coach there?
Mike McCarthy.
McCarthy is 7 kneecaps out of 5.
Knee pads.
Or knee pads out of 5. The Warden said that the Dolphins will have 3 dolphin barks this year
Yeah.
out of 5.
Jordan Love will regress. The Packers suck. Their receiving core is overrated.
And you said how many Jones tiers will be had? Was it 4 or 5?
I think it was 4.
Regular tiers, unicorn tiers, or
One unicorn
We
tier.
didn't even really talk about the
when does
Lions.
the unicorn have to
Well,
cry
we
about?
did.
That's silly.
What did you say about the Lions though? Because you did cover it. What did you guys predict?
They did win the division last year, so I think they'll make the playoffs. But
They'll make the
Mongoose?
play. Yeah, they'll make the playoffs. They're good.
All right.
Not as
Now
good as
you're
the Bears.
saying nothing for the Packers, but my prediction is playoffs again. Dub Cinch.
My only prediction I already said is that Mongoose is going to sit there and talk up the Bears, and then within 4 weeks he's going to be very.
We'll
quiet.
revisit this.
4 weeks Mongoose
We'll
tears.
revisit this week 4 in the regular
The
season.
Warden never
folks.
cries,
Yes,
but
we
4
will.
weeks Mongoose tears
Stay
is what Dub
tuned.
Cinch is
Yeah.
predicting.
Mark your
Mongoose
calendars.
I based
Mongoose.
off like a 15-year
coming
average.
back.
Here.
All right. Remember to keep packing those bolts. Until
Ooh, I
next
do.
time. See ya. Real goat.